Bonjour, mes amis! Welcome to Never Do These in Other Countries. I'm your host, Emma, and today we're starting our European adventure in the most romantic city in the world, where I'm about to tell you how to completely kill the romance in under 30 seconds. Picture this. You're in Paris. The Eiffel Tower is twinkling in the distance. You're at this incredible little bistro with red checkered tablecloths, the works. The waiter approaches with that perfectly practiced French sophistication, and you ask for separate checks. Congratulations! You've just committed the French equivalent of showing up to a wedding in your pajamas. Here's what happened to me on my very first night in Paris. I was 22, backpacking through Europe, and I thought I was being so considerate. I'd made friends with this amazing French couple at my hostel, Marie and Pierre, real names, and they invited me to dinner. We go to this gorgeous little restaurant in Montmartre. I'm talking fairy lights, accordion music in the background, the whole romantic French movie scene. We have the most incredible meal: escargot, coq au vin, wine that probably cost more than my flight. And when the check comes, I do what any polite person would do back home. I grab my wallet and say, "Okay, so let's split this 3 ways." The look on their faces. Marie literally gasped. Pierre's eyebrows shot up so high they nearly left his forehead. The waiter froze mid-step like he'd witnessed a crime. So here's what I learned that night, and what every traveler needs to know about French dining culture. In France, splitting the bill, or going Dutch, as we say, is not just unusual, it's genuinely offensive. And here's why this matters so much to French culture. French dining isn't just about food. It's about relationships, generosity, and social hierarchy. When someone invites you to dinner, they're not just suggesting you eat together. They're extending hospitality, they're showing care, they're making a statement about your relationship. When you try to split the bill, you're essentially saying, "Thanks, but I don't want to be indebted to you," or "I don't trust that this gesture comes without strings attached." To French sensibilities, this feels cold and transactional. Back to my disaster dinner. Pierre finally breaks the silence and says, in his heavily accented English, "No, no, no, you are our guest." But I'm thinking I'm being helpful, right? So I insist. "Really, it's fine. I can pay for my part." Marie actually put her hand on my arm and said, "Please, you are making this very awkward for everyone." The waiter? He just stood there holding the check like it was a live grenade. Finally, Pierre explained, "In France, the person who invites pays. Always. If you want to return the kindness, you invite us next time." Mind blown. This tradition goes back centuries in French culture. It's tied to concepts of honor, generosity, and social grace. The French have a beautiful phrase, faire plaisir, which means to give pleasure or to make happy. When a French person pays for your meal, they're literally trying to give you pleasure, to make you happy. By insisting on splitting the bill, you're basically rejecting their gift of happiness. No wonder Marie looked like I'd insulted her grandmother's cooking. And here's a fun fact. This rule applies to everyone. Rich, poor, young, old, whoever extends the invitation accepts the financial responsibility. It's not about showing off wealth. It's about showing respect for the relationship. So, how do you handle this correctly? First, understand the invitation. If someone says, "Would you like to have dinner?" they're offering to pay. If they say, "Should we go split some food?" that's different. But honestly, that second phrasing is more American than French. Second, show gratitude, not insistence. Say, "C'est très gentil." That's very kind. And accept graciously. Third, and this is crucial, always reciprocate. If Pierre pays for dinner tonight, you invite him for lunch next week. This isn't about keeping score, it's about maintaining the beautiful dance of French social generosity. If you've already made this mistake, here's how to recover. Je suis désolée, je ne savais pas. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Merci beaucoup pour votre générosité. Thank you very much for your generosity. La prochaine fois, c'est moi qui invite. Next time, it's my treat. Quick bonus tips for dining in France. Never start eating before everyone is served. Wait for bon appétit. Don't ask for substitutions or modifications. The chef knows what they're doing. And please, please don't ask for ketchup with your perfectly prepared French meal. I've seen grown French waiters weep. You know what happened with Marie and Pierre? After I understood the rule, I invited them to lunch the next day. Not to pay them back, but to continue the relationship. We ended up staying friends for years. And every time I visit Paris, we still have our little dinner tradition. That awkward moment taught me something beautiful about French culture. They don't just eat food together, they create connections. Every shared meal is a small ceremony of friendship. Liked this travel fail? Don't miss the next cultural survival tip. Hit like, subscribe, and comment. What's your most awkward travel moment? Let's laugh and learn together.